What?
For security.
If you insist.
Moles.
Sigismund took everything I had. The godless beast. Have some compassion.
Good day to you.
I've got your coin.
I'll give you some of the groschen.
What's this other?
Everywhere you go here, then take a look.
Arms for everyone.
That's the
Here's the coin you want.
Good. Interested in another?
You mentioned another.
Aye. There's a good widow living in squalor with us in the...
You want me to get this memento?
Just so.
I'll be right back.
Good luck to you.
Have pity on me, a poor wretch. Sigismund and his murderers took everything I had.
Yeah. Yeah.
Smell. The stud farm owner. I saw him in Skalitz a few times. His poor widow.
Ask.
No.
I saw you came with the soldiers, and the sooner you know everything,
I'm sorry to trouble you, ma'am, but could you tell me about the raid?
The noise woke us up. Me and Smill. We thought the horses were restless, or maybe some drunk had staggered here from the inn.
Go on.
My husband went out. Then I just heard loud voices. And screaming. It's so stupid. It didn't even occur to me at first that something could have happened to Smill. I didn't find out until the morning.
Did you recognize any of the voices you heard?
No, but they spoke Czech, cursing like demons, even at each other.
At each other? They quarrelled?
Yes. Something
And where did you hear this noise?
everywhere. It was chaos. I don't even know how many of them there were.
I mean at the very start. Do you remember where you heard the noise come from then?
I don't know.
Did you get a look at them? There's one man, huge and dressed all in black.
No.
Who should I question about the raid?
Ginger was sleeping in the stable. He might have... Jakob, the old stable boy. He even fought with them.
From what I've heard, Mark was the first one to wake. I don't know of any... Good luck then.
Another useless soldier come to ask questions. You should have fucking been here last night.
What's wrong with your arm? Oh dear. That looks painful.
That's all you gotta say about it. You useless prick.
And how did you come by that wound?
I heard someone talking, so I went to look outside. Then I saw what they'd done to the horses. I shouted at those bastards, caught one by the cloak and started beating him.
Without a weapon? With just your fists?
Yeah, but he cut me pretty good, the fucker. Lucky for me, the others started to come out then, so the raiders ran. All that's left is his cloak.
What in the world happened here?
The bastards attacked us. And now
And you've got no idea why they did it?
something must have gone wrong for them. They ran off without taking anything.
There's one man in particular. Huge. Dressed all in black. Voice loud enough to crack stone. Did you see him?
Who the fuck do you think half killed me?
So he really was here. The bastard. Can you help me?
Help you? Good luck to you.
How could anyone be so cruel?
Our stud farm isn't finished. I swear I won't let them destroy it, Smith.
You! Where have you been? All that bold talk and then you disappear.
But I've...
We waited for you while people here suffered, damn it. We could have caught the ones who did it and...
Because I...
Silence! I don't... May the Lord watch over you.
I haven't made the best start of it. But maybe I can still be of some help.
Where have you been? While you were gone, we found a dead brigand in the woods. The others are probably long...
If it was for profit, at least...
Did you learn anything?
No. He was already dead. Go and take a look if you want. One of my men is still standing.
Where is he exactly?
A bit north of Neuhoff in the woods.
Thank you.
I'll be with you.
How could anyone be so cruel?
Look.
Such senseless brutality. They slaughtered horses as well as people, and yet it seems they didn't take anything.
Why you? What did you ever do to anyone?
How could anyone be so cruel?
What? Who's there?
Easy.
I don't know anything.
Are you hurt?
No.
What really happened here?
I don't know.
You didn't happen to hear where they came from?
No!
Are you... Are you well?
Leave me alone.
But there's no need to be afraid. With your help, I'll find those bastards and...
They... What do you...
What actually happened here?
They killed the animals and... Why did they kill them?
Did they take anything?
No.
Think carefully now. How did it all start?
We heard the animals, their shrieks, then Smill. He shouted, and they murdered him.
You're certain it was the animals first, and then Smill? Not the other way round?
I'm certain. I'd never heard a sound like that before. Now I'll never forget it.
What happened after that?
We ran outside and it was chaos. Animals were dying, the stables were burning, and those demons everywhere.
The stables were already burning. Didn't that happen after they fled?
No, it was to set the blaze when they arrived.
You said they were demons.
No, just vermin. Worthless human vermin.
How many of them were there?
Not many. There were just a few that came after us, but more round the back. I heard them yelling at each other.
So they were yelling because of all the noise?
No, something happened. They quarrelled.
In the back? Where?
Towards the woods. To the north. They were trying to get away.
So some of them were running away and the others were fighting?
Aye. For a time. Then more of us came out and we fought back, so the others fled as well.
Where? Where did they run to?
To the north. Into the woods.
Thanks. That's all I needed to ask.
Take care now.
See what they did here? Kill them! Find those whoresons and kill them!
Goodbye.
Why, it's a hoof pick. Someone in Neuhof must know more about it.
Rose.
Do you know whose hoof pick this is?
Ginger's. He was always bragging.
I found it on one of the bandits in the woods.
But he... Because of him? Because of him they murdered us?
Wait, hold on. You think Ginger was responsible for the attack?
He ran off! Don't you see? He was acting...
That does sound rather odd. And you don't know where Ginger could have gone?
Dunno. God be with you.
Do you know anything about...
Yeah.
Any idea where I might find this Ginger?
Well, that's the thing.
What?
Look, I know how he looks. But Ginger is a fine fellow. I don't believe he had anything to do with the attack.
Where could he have fled to?
I might know. But you gotta promise me one thing. When you find him, listen to what he has to say before judging.
You have my word.
Sometimes the charcoal burners come to see him. He gets on well with them. I think that's where he's gone.
And where is that?
No idea. They've always kept to themselves, you know, charcoal burners.
But the forest is full of folk like that. They could be anywhere.
Aye, except these ones won't be far. If you follow the stream from the stud farm towards Ratte, you'll come across one of their camps. Only
what?
Ginger didn't go that way, though. He always went by the big road, through the woods in the direction of Ujits.
But how can I find them?
There's always smoke when they work. You'll smell them before you see them. And they need to be near water. There's that too.
So if I go through the woods along running water, I'll find them?
Exactly. Farewell.
God be with you.
I think Ginger is mixed up in it somehow. He acted suspiciously when I questioned him.
What do you mean?
Well, he was squirming and didn't really say anything.
He might just have been in shock.
He disappeared right after we found those bandits in the woods. And I think I know where he went.
Where?
To the charcoal burners.
We've got to find him. But if his friends really are hiding him, you should search for him, Henry. Go, before the trail...
Very well, sir.
Good luck to you.
Yeah! 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 Yeah!
Jesus Christ.
Could you help me?
Depends what you want.
I'm looking for Ginger, a stable boy from Neuhof. They say he ran away and joined up with some charcoal burners he used...
Sorry. There's never been a lad called...
A murder's been committed at Neuhof, and that boy likely knows who did it.
There's been murder aplenty in these parts of late.
There'll be a lot less murdering going on once I bring those bastards to justice. So how about helping me out?
Calm down, lad. For the love of God. There's been no one like the boy you want round here. But then again, there are other charcoal burners. Try them. You might want to hurry. You're not the first to be asking about him, and the others weren't exactly a noble-looking bunch.
They didn't happen to say what they wanted him?
No.
All right, I'll go.
Good luck to you.
Jesus Christ.
I'm looking for a stable boy from Neuhof.
Then why aren't you looking for him?
Because he fled from there and supposedly went...
Well, he didn't come here. May the Lord watch over you.
Jesus Christ.
I'm looking for a ginger-haired boy. I hear he's friends with some charcoal burners.
We ain't friends with no redhead.
He works as a stable boy in the stud farm.
I know where that is, but I don't know no one from there. Good luck to you.
I still have some... Do you have any idea where else he could...
You said he was friends with the charcoal burners? Well, you'll definitely find some in the forest between Neuhof and Ujetz.
But that forest is huge.
Then follow the river. That's how you found us, isn't it?
All right.
Good luck to you.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Jesus Christ be praised.
I'm searching for a stable boy from Noy.
I know him right enough, but
He's run away from the stud farm.
Well, he's definitely not here. Try the other.
may the Lord watch over you.
God be with you.
Has anyone here seen...
That boy from the stud farm?
Yes, that's the one.
No, he's not here. But he passed through not long ago on the way to Tomberg. Follow the stream to the west, and you'll find more.
May the Lord watch over you.
If there's something you want, better ask me first. A good day to you.
I'm looking for Gin.
I know him.
There's a few questions I need to...
Well, you'll have to go somewhere else.
So where does he usually go if...
You think we're the only charcoal?
Probably not. But this is a big forest and I don't...
And you don't need to look under every stone. Or...
If you're hiding him here, please reconsider. It's Sir Radzig who sent me to find him. That boy's testimony could help.
I understand the urgency, lad, but really, he doesn't come here. He's friends with some of the boys.
And where can I find them?
Head west along the river and you'll run into them. Oh, and another thing you might like to know. Other people have been sniffing around here for him.
Where did they go? What?
Oh, they headed off to the west. But that doesn't mean anything. And they look... Well, one of them came here and asked a lot of questions. And the other one stood off at a distance, scout.
May the Lord watch over you.
Yeah. Yeah.
My respects to you.
I'm looking for a boy called Ginger from Neuhof.
What is it to you?
He's suspected of a murder, so I need to ask...
Well, if you need to find him, so...
I'm investigating a crime.
Well then, I'm sure you've got some silver on you. Just...
And what if I bashed your face in and had you dragged off to the stocks in Ratai?
No need for that. All I wanted was a bit of silver, and instead I get the whip.
Spit it out, will you?
Well, fine. I've heard that they're hiding him in some remote cottage at the edge of the forest on the way to Uzhitz.
That didn't hurt too much now.
Take care now. Good health to you.
Maybe you should keep an eye on your men. One of them just...
What? That snake in the ground.
So you are hiding him here? Stop messing me around and tell me everything you know.
I understand, but look. Other people have been asking about him, and I'd say it's pretty obvious what they wanted. They look like killers. If you can get them out of the way...
But I don't know where to look for them.
They're always wandering about here. Their hideout must be somewhere nearby. They came here from the east, across the bridge, threw their weight around, and then went back the same way. And I know of only one place in that direction.
What place is that?
There was a camp between here and the charcoal burners in the east.
That's fair.
The words of a true man. Farewell.
Yeah.
It's always better to have more people for a job like that, though. Maybe, but then there's more taking a...
Yo!
I'll smash you like that louse you
Way
are.
You get one for.
Come here, loud liver.
Shit!
Oh, dead. Is that the best you can do? Come here, lily liver.
Corva!
You call that combat? God!
Yeah. Yeah. I've taken care of those two cut.
You don't look like you've been in a fight.
If you don't believe me, go and see for yourself.
All right, all right.
They're dead.
Ginger was here, but the lads hid him away somewhere. I suppose there's no need for that anymore.
That's right.
All right. They're hiding him nearby. A little way along the route to Uzhitz, there's a path to the right leading to a spring. From there, you'll find an overgrown trail to a ruined...
Finally, some useful information.
Good luck to you.
Yeah. Jesus. A merry dance?
What?
I want to ask you a couple of questions. Why did you run off like that? Where are your cronies? And why did you kill that bandit?
What?
Right, one thing at a time. Why did you run off in such a hurry?
Because I was afraid they'd come back and kill me.
Who?
Those bandits, of course.
To get revenge on you for killing their mate?
Killing? Me? I never killed anyone. God is my witness.
I'm looking for your friends. Where are they?
The charcoal burners? They're over at the...
To hell with the charcoal burners. Where are your bandit mates?
They're not my mates. They nearly killed me. I recognized one of them, so I thought they'd come back and...
Recognized? Who was it? Talk!
I don't know his name, only that he's from Uzhitz and he has a limp.
What can you tell me about him? How do you know him?
I saw him a few times in the tavern in Uzhitz, playing dice and boozing.
And?
I know he lives in a house on the edge of the village, but that's all I know.
Why did you kill that bandit?
What? That?
This is yours, isn't it? I pulled it from the belly of a dead bandit near the stud farm.
That is mine, but I didn't...
What fellow?
I don't know his name, but...
He limps and he's from Uzhitz.
It's all I know.
And now tell me exact... And don't leave any...
That's quite...
Don't worry, I won't get bored.
All right. I woke up in the middle of the night because I needed to go for a piss. So I went out into the dark, same as usual, only there was something there that shouldn't have been. At first I thought it was just a trick of the light, but it wasn't. Then it was too late. They went past and I thought they must be horse thieves. I would have yelled, only I was afraid they'd kill me. So I waited until they were out of sight and I started to sneak away, but then...
Then the slaughtering started?
Yes. I thought they'd steal the horses and ride off. That would be bad enough, but then all the killing started and flames everywhere. It was terrible, like hell itself.
And then?
It seemed some of them didn't like it either. They started squabbling among themselves, and some of them started running back where they came from, right towards me. And I had that thing in my hand, the hoof pick.
So you stabbed the first one in the belly?
No. He ran right into me. He was running fast for a fellow with a limp. He pushed me aside and I fell on the ground. Then he told me I'd better lie low if I valued my life. And he ran off with the others. I did what he said and hid. Then the rest of the gang ran.
And then?
Then I waited in case that limping one from Uzhitz came back. I didn't dare come.
What about the others? Was there anything you noticed about them?
I don't know. There might have been maybe 8 of them, and 2 of them were really big. That's...
Do you know what they argued about?
I didn't hear everything, but I reckon some of them were only there to steal and wanted no part in the killing.
That sounds terrible.
If only I yelled.
If you had, you'd most likely be dead.
But still...
There was nothing you could do. That's all. I've heard everything I need to hear, so I'll leave you be.
Wait! What about me? Won't you help me out?
Perhaps I could.
I'd like to go back to the stud farm, but those...
They're out of the way. I ran into them on my travels.
Really?
What?
I'm afraid to go back to the farm.
Just try, and you'll see whether they drive you away or not. But if you explain it to...
I suppose you're right.
Lord above, what?
My lord, I managed to find a clue to...
Excellent. Bernard already told me what's been happening, but I'd like...
The whole story, or just the...
It's up to you what you...
One of the Neuhoff stable boys, a lad they called Ginger, fled from there and hid out with some charcoal burners. I have to say, there's a lot of them around. I never thought how many forges and ironworks they have to supply.
That's true, but keep to the point.
Oh, yes, sir. I had quite a job finding him. He was well hidden and with good reason. The bandits wanted to kill him because he recognised one of them.
Did he tell you what happened?
He said it wasn't one gang, but 2. And one of them took fright when the slaughter started. Seems they were only interested in loot, so they quarrelled with the other lot. Then it came to a skirmish in the woods and one of them was killed. And the rest of them scattered.
And did you find out where they went?
All I know is one of them is from Ujits. I know enough about him to be able to track him down.
All right, but those cutthroats must know who he is too, right? And if they want to get revenge on him or silence him, you'd better hope they don't get to him before you. So drop everything and get on his trail. Find out what he knows and then report back to me. I'm going to our encampment at Merhayed to oversee the security of the region.
Yes, sir.
Farewell.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Good day to you.
I'm looking for a fellow who lives here, but I don't know his name.
Must be that farmhand Lubosh. I don't know what the hell you'd want him for, and I don't much care. He's got a cottage on the... Take care now.
Let's talk about...
Naturally.
Agree?
Well, now.
Since it's you...
I'd almost... Aye, for that...
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Move along, citizens. Move along. There's nothing to see here.
That's what you call nothing to see. I'd like to know what something to see looks like.
By the keys of St. Peter. This is all I need. We'll have to send word to Sir Hanush.
That might not be necessary.
Who are you?
I'm Henry of Skalitz, in the service of Hanush's Captain Bernard. I'm investigating the attack at Neuhof, and I think this could be related.
Well, I'm the bailiff of Auschwitz. And I say we don't want any of that kind of trouble around here. What makes you think this has anything to do with Neuhof?
One of the folk at the stud farm recognized someone from Auschwitz among the bandits.
We have no bandits or murderers around here.
Really? They say he had a limp?
Shit. Well, allow me to introduce you to Limpy Lubosh. Or all that's left of him.
Sakra. Nothing's ever easy. I'll have to take a look around and ask a few more questions, if that's all right with you.
You can take this mess off my hands and welcome to it. As for what else there is to find out, I don't know. But look and ask all you like.
Who was Limpy Lubosh?
A poor crofter and a scoundrel. Can't say I'm too surprised what happened to him. He kept company with all sorts of vermin. He was always getting into some kind of trouble. Punch-ups in the tavern and what have you.
How come he limped?
He got that from some villainy or brawl a long time.
Has he been up to anything suspicious?
I don't know. The last few days he didn't go anywhere. He was home the whole time.
Did he have any kith or kin in the village?
None.
Do you happen to know where he was on the night?
I've no idea. He kept his...
When did you find the body? And did anyone...
Just now. And nobody saw or heard...
God be with you.
I've come in the name of Sir Hanush of Lipa. I'm investigating...
Of course.
That man Lubosh who was murdered.
He was a drunk who was always looking for a fight. Nobody liked him much, but I wouldn't wish an end like that on any man.
Have you noticed anything suspicious recently?
Well, now I think of it, I hadn't...
Do you know what Lubosh was doing the day Neuhof was raided?
Not a clue.
Do you know anyone Lubosh used to spend time with?
He was a loner.
That's all. I've come in the name of Sir Hanush.
I don't know how I can help.
Do you know who Lubosh used to spend time with?
As far as I know.
That's all.
Good luck then.
Good day to you.
I've come in the name of Sir
I don't know nothing about...
That man Lubosh.
I didn't really know him.
Have you noticed anything?
Well, come to think of it, he was in church yesterday. I was wondering what he was up to take to the faith all of a sudden.
Do you know what Lubosh was doing?
I was coming from the tavern very late that night, and he looked like he was in a hurry.
Do you know anyone Lubosh used to...
Not with anyone from the village. He used to sit in the tavern.
That's all. Thank you.
Good luck to you.
Jesus Christ.
I've come in the name of Sir
Hanush gives a job like that to a young fellow like...
That man Lubosh who was murdered.
He was a strange one. Always drinking.
Have you noticed anything
I didn't see much of him lately.
Do you know what Lubosh was doing?
I don't think he was home at all.
Do you know anyone Lubosh used to...
I really don't know.
That's all. Thank
Farewell.
What the hell are you doing?
Jesus Christ, people.
I've come in the name of Sir Han...
Of course.
That's all. Thank you.
Take care now.
The blessings of our good Lord be with you, Father. I'm here in the name of Sir Hanush of Lipa. Can I ask you a few questions?
It seems Sir Hanush is employing children as investigators. But
did you know Lubosh?
Bit of a lost soul. Simple, rough fellow, but at heart I don't think he was such a bad person.
Did you know Lubosh?
Bit of a lost soul.
Did you notice anything suspicious?
My child, all sorts of suspicious things have been going on recently. People like Lubosh don't know what to do about it, and sometimes...
That's really not a lot of help.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Do you know what Lubosh was doing on the...
Unfortunately, I do know. And I'd like...
What?
I'm bound by certain vows that forbid me to tell you.
Vows more important than catching...
There are laws of God above the laws of man, son. And one of those is the same...
Father, surely you can't be serious. There must be situations in which you can make an exception.
There are things that apply always, no matter what...
I've got no time for this. You might be happy to put people's lives at risk, but I refuse to, and I'll get...
You're threatening me. You want to fight me? Well, I...
All right, let's...
God be with you.
Yeah, bot! Way off. Ow! God! No! Miss. Ah! Ow! Go! Ow! Ow! Here! Ow!
Either way, you think you'll get confessional secrets out of me? You can hammer me to death if you like. I do want to help you, though. So come to the tavern in the evening, and make...
And good health.
I'm sorry I can't tell you everything. But first I'd like to hear something about you, my son. With whom do I have the...
I'm from Skalitz.
Oh.
They're dead.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that. It must have been terrible.
It was terrible. It seemed so God knows why. They killed anyone who didn't make it to the shelter of the castle. My parents, my girl, even the Deutsch who was on Sigismund's side. I didn't make it to the castle. They almost killed me.
My poor child. And how did you come to get this assignment?
He did, but I found a witness and the trail led here to Ujit.
Ah, well, congratulations. It's nice to see someone using their head to find... Now the most important thing. What actually happened at Noel? The good folks...
The rumors aren't exaggerated. The Neuhof stud farm was raided by bandits, but they didn't come to pillage or even take the horses. They only wanted to kill. They maimed the horses and slaughtered some people. I'm sure they would have killed more, but the bandits quarreled among themselves and broke off the attack.
I see it's every bit as bad as people. Well then, here's to those...
I've told you all about me. Now it's your turn, Father. Well, we've had an agreeable chat, but now let's get down. So, about this confessional seal.
Henry, that's not how it works. There are matters in which you can't make... If people stop believing in the...
You're just making excuses. The people who say the church is corrupt are right. You don't...
I'm sorry you see it that way.
I always wondered about the things a priest tells his congregation. Where on earth do you get the idea?
Well, Ujits is in Prague. It's not enough to instruct people.
Our priest wasn't exactly a bard.
So it has to be something topical. Condemning vices. A tongue lashing about the two popes goes down well these days. And stories from real life with a nice moral to them, especially if they're about fornication and similar. Well, recently a priest by the name of Jan Hus started preaching in Prague, in the Czech language. I hear he always has a full house. A journeyman who... I'm thinking about putting...
What's so amazing?
The preaching of Master Jan Hus about Mother Church. The lamentable wealth in which the church is drowning has turned to poison, just like a flock of hungry ravens. They know no mercy. Their hearts are corrupt. You want to baptize a child? Pay. You want to steal and... What if the devil himself were to pay? With such money gained from the poor, they buy beautiful horses to ride and needless servants to pamper them. While Jesus Christ walked... Look to your consciences, you rob... Amen!
Well, this Jan Hus...
Oh, the congregation...
I don't doubt it.
Let's drink to the...
Funny.
What do you mean? My situation's completely different. Huth preaches against the prelates and the clerics who are robbing the poor. Look at me. I'm one with them in poverty and suffering and everything that troubles them.
God bless them.
Don't you think it's a bit odd when someone boozes and lives in sin with a woman and then...
No, I don't.
What do you think of it?
He's certainly a wise man. If he got out of Prague and came here for a look...
What do the common folk?
They like it. They're happy to hear someone say what they think themselves. But in a few years, it'll have grown beyond control.
Yeah, unless they burn him at the...
Nonsense. They can't...
Where can I find out more?
You like it? I copied down some of his sermons. If you're...
Thanks for the sermon, but... it's getting...
What do you suppose?
That's...
I knew you wouldn't let me...
Przyszła bida mora lat, to nie ustoi żadnej chlap. Na kraj padł dziesnej smutek, dodnielo i rano utek, niech ich małżeński majsat, do wczera żylne staje prach. Už sej bojí svatý muži, nechtěl bych bejbě jich kůži. Nám je to jedno a tak si dáme jedno a požerem si huby jako poslední jen. Budeme se bavit a do rána slávy a tak vypal sudy a posaď se mi sem. Tak posaď se sem a vypal je ven. Ukaž kozy jako vozy, zejtra jen tu solnej ven. Tak nalej mi hned a točí se zpět. Enough of this! Bailiff! Come on over here, sit down and have a drink with us.
Don't vex me again, Father. It's 3 hours past dusk, and curfew is long gone.
So what?
So, I'll have you all whipped and put in the stocks, and I'll write a letter to the bishop about you, priest.
Well, nothing to worry about then. Everyone knows the only one around here who can write is me.
Enough! Men, throw them out.
Oh. Oh. You looking for a fight? Henry, back me up.
Ow!
Oh!
Now you're fucked.
Roll me an ale. Oh dear.
my dear. Wouldn't you like to have a little ring on the bell? No sooner said than done.
I'd love to. And Henry, too, I'm sure. Right, Henry?
Stop that nonsense, Godwin. Are you out of your mind? What will people say?
They can say what they like. What do I care? What do they do to me? Watch the step, my dears. Careful, you don't hurt yourself.
Godwin, you're
Here we are. Look at this beauty.
Oh. We can't do this, can we?
Who says? Get ringing, wench.
This is wonderful.
Ah, bloody oath. And now, my dears, comes the climax of the evening.
Godwin, you old goat.
Come here. Oh.
The priest has mounted up. What do you say, Henry? Shall we take a little ride of our own? Well, I have to say that was a fine evening.
Godwin, you beast! Get up! Do you hear me? Wake up, you drunkards!
Oh, fucking hell. Where the... Oh, what the... Oh, who the hell are you? Oh, Henry. My great friend, Henry. Didn't we have a wonderful time?
Well, you certainly did, you old lecher. Now you better pull yourself together quick. You haven't much time. There's some water and something to eat on the table there, but if I were you, I would move my hairy arse before my flock eats me alive.
Oh, step on in my head. My guts. Oh, my poor suffering stomach. Oh, what was that woman on about? Before my flock eats me alive. I've forgotten something. What have I forgotten?
Where the fuck am I?
What the fuck was it? Oh. Mass! Oh, shit, I have to say mass. I gotta say mass. You have to help me.
How? You're the priest.
I can't do it in this state. Maybe the liturgy. But I have to give a sermon as well. Oh, this is a disaster. They're gonna excommunicate me.
I'd like to help you, but...
You can. You can do the sermon for me.
What? So, first I investigate a murder no one wants investigated. Then I drunkenly keep the whole town up all night. And now you want me to preach at them from the pulpit? Do you want them to burn us at the stake?
No. No, I've got it. Suppose that Sir Ratzig's protege. You just came from studying in Prague. And you want to share the words of Master Jan Hus, who you recently heard preaching there. Henry, look. From what I remember, we might have overdone it a bit last night. And if the bailiff or someone else complains about me, the bishop's gonna have my guts for garters. So I'd appreciate it. Stop gaping at me like a stuffed squirrel and start helping.
You're mad. You're stark raving mad.
I'm not. It's a perfect plan. It's flawless. Oh. How about this? If you help me with this, I'll tell you who Lubosh's cronies are.
So all at once the confessional seal isn't so sacred?
Don't mock me.
Well, all right.
No, neither can I.
What do you want me to do?
I'll go and start the liturgy. Then I'll introduce you. You give the... No need to drag it out. If it turns out well...
Christ almighty.
Wonderful. Let's get...
Never show up. Swill pop.
Look at him. He can hardly walk after his capers last night.
You were with them, you beast. Just you wait.
Look at him. Mother of God. Any minute now he'll throw up.
bells. I couldn't sleep a wink last night with all that clamor.
In nomine Patris, et Filii, et Spiritus Sancti. Amen. Accepit panem in sanctas at venerabiles a manus suas. Hac facite in meam commemorationem. Brothers and sisters, you may have had the honor of meeting Henry from Skalitz, who is here at the behest of Sir Hanush to investigate that heinous crime at Neuhof. You might not know that Henry recently visited Prague, where, by the grace of God, was able to hear Master Jan Hus from the esteemed Charles University preaching. I've managed to persuade Henry to stand here today in my stead and tell us what he heard. Because, as you all probably know, Jan Hus is a very popular preacher in Prague. So, Henry, you may begin.
Now I'm curious which one of them will puke first.
Brothers and sisters, let me get straight to the point. I'd like to talk about the church and how corrupt it is.
Boy has a cheek.
Just as we are commanded to obey the priests in matters of virtue, so are we commanded to defy them face to face if they live contrary to God's commandments.
Hear that, Godwin?
It is the corruption of God's pastors here on earth that has brought misfortune on our heads. Plague, humans, hunger, and chaos. The accursed wealth that the church is drowning in is poisoning almost the whole of Christendom. When dogs are fighting over a bone, take the bone and they will stop. Just like the flock of ravens that has descended on this land to peck up every speck of gold and silver. They show no mercy. Their hearts are poisoned by covetousness. They trade everything. Everything is for sale. You want to baptize a child? Pay. You want to steal and murder? Pay, and you will have absolution. And the prelates sin and give themselves absolution.
For shame. Shame upon them.
It is the custom of the gluttonous prelates and monks to preach against sin. But what do they know of us ordinary folk? Let us remember the marriage at Cana, where our Lord Jesus Christ himself feasted with the other guests and drank his fill. And when the wine was gone, he performed a miracle and created more. He, whose companions were poor travellers, simple folk, prostitutes and troublemakers, performed a miracle so the feast could continue.
Now that's the kind of sermon I like to hear.
No, brothers and sisters, Jesus did not condemn alcohol. Drink to lighten the cross you bear in this vale of tears, but not with such abandon that you cannot keep holy the Sabbath. For there should be moderation in all things, and it is not drinking itself that is sinful, but intemperance and beastly indulgence.
He's right.
Enough about sin, which the prelates are so fond of preaching about, and whose absolution they promise if you only pay enough coin to Mother Church. What if the devil himself were to pay? Will the bishops tell us he too would ascend to heaven? And what about those bishops? They sin without remorse, and with the money grasped from the poor for indulgences, they keep fine horses and hordes of servants to pamper them. They played dice and garbed their mistresses in expensive furs, while Christ, the Lamb of God, walked barefoot and had nowhere to lay his head. Look to your consciences, you robbers of the poor, for you are seen by God and his people too.
Down with the prelates! Away with them!
We're fortunate to have our good Father Godwin. At least he's a fair and simple man.
God sees what is happening on earth, and he is filled with righteous wrath that those who should seek the salvation of souls instead seek mammon and the idle comfort of lucrative posts. Blessed are the shepherds who share the poverty of their flock, who are as one with you and bear with you the burden of this earthly pilgrimage, who do not condemn your venial sins.
Oi! All honour to Godwin! Let him drink like one of us!
That is all I heard in Prague. Amen.
The lad spoke well, considering what a soak he is.
He's right, that huss.
The young man shouldn't drink so much, but the Lord's given him a
I'm
silver
glad he
tongue.
came here. I don't suppose I'll ever get to Prague, and he told it nicely.
Well, well, my boy, you have talent, and I can't deny it. And you pulled a thorn from my side. I almost didn't make it.
Yeah, I noticed. And I wasn't the only one.
Oh, what's to be done? I'll make it up somehow.
So, about our bargain.
Although it's a sin.
So gluttony. And fornication.
God does forgive a penitent.
So, what did Limpy Lubosh tell you? Was he at Neuhof that day? Who was with him? And where are they now?
Now, slow down. I'm sorry, but he didn't tell me that much.
Don't let me down after all I've been through. For you...
Well, now Lubosh came to me shortly after it happened. His conscience was gnawing at him. And I must say, in the end, he turned out to be a better man than he looked. He said they'd been hired through some crony of theirs. And at first they were just to steal some horses. But then it all turned sour and people started getting killed. And neither he nor his cronies wanted anything to do with that. So they fell out from the gang and fled.
Fell out? Yeah, there was a body found in the woods by Neuhof.
That would explain something. Lubosh kept jabbering that he wasn't a murderer, that he didn't want to do it.
So I know that Lubosh killed the murderer and he's dead too. The trouble is, I need to find the ones who are still alive. I need names and places. Did he mention any of the others?
Only nicknames. Talked about some fella called Riki from Ledechko. Pius, Timmy.
Pius. That lot are about as pious as I am ordained.
Nonsense. You would make an excellent priest. And anyhow, with your skills, you ought to be able to sniff out this Riki from Ledechko, right?
Well, we'll have to now. There's not much else to go on. Let's hope he's not hanging from the wall too.
Indeed. And I'd hate to be excommunicated for nothing. Anyhow, good luck. You watch out for yourself. These people clearly mean business. And I'd like to raise a tankard with you again sometime.
Yeah, I'll try. Although I'm not sure I'd survive another night of your debauchery.
And if anyone should ask, you heard nothing from me. I'll deny everything.
I don't doubt it.
Thank you.